Jack, I think they're people too, and they should be allowed to vote.
What's that? Say that again. Welcome, everybody. Alter Ego Podcast number 4.
Number 4.
Today, we've got myself, Jack. We've got Mark. We've got Justin. We got Rob.
Yeah.
Say hi, everybody. Really quickly, though. We want to get into it.
How's it going?
Bingo, bango.
Now you're in a rush. Why are you in such a rush?
I'm not in a rush.
We have a lot of
Relax.
time to talk about
Relax.
this fantastic film.
That's
We
right.
don't need
These
that much
fantastic
time.
films that you had never seen before.
I have never seen... Well, it's funny
either.
because I thought about it because on the first episode...
I'm just saying, I haven't either.
Oh, you're in on this too. So on the first episode, we discussed the fact that we haven't seen the first or the second Ghost Rider.
And are you both
Wait,
wildly
us,
upset?
right?
Yes,
by-
us
Right,
together
right, okay.
as a universal front.
I thought you were talking about you and Jack.
No.
Okay.
See, when I look at you, it means I'm talking about you.
Yeah, but you
Whereas
said us, you
me
were
and
talking to Jack.
Right, Justin?
Indeed.
Yep.
Right.
Oh, boy.
So are you both upset by all the time that you wasted watching those films?
Do you
I am
want,
pissed.
Do you want your time back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty
I
bad.
back-to-back this in 2 days.
Oof, I'm so sorry.
I turned on Ghost Rider last night while I was cooking dinner, and my wife goes, "You put Ghost Rider on."
Did you click the wrong button?
Did you sit on the remote?
I know. She goes, "You did that on purpose?" I was like, "Yeah. I'm watching it again for the podcast, so it's fresh in my menu." My memory. She goes, "I'm gonna go take a bath."
This quarantine has gone
For
too
2
far.
hours.
You
For
never
2
saw her
hours.
again.
Yeah. Disappeared into the house. Yeah. Let's talk about Ghost
We
Rider.
don't get right into it.
Numero uno.
Ghost. Okay, the first one. That
Yeah,
one
the
doesn't
first
have
one.
a subtitle.
Ghost
No.
Rider, the 2007 film.
There you go. That should be the subtitle.
Better than the Hulk when they came out with the
Oh
game
my
after the movie.
God.
The Hulk, the movie, the game. You didn't even try.
That actually, if that's the game I think about, it was pretty freaking cool.
Was it?
The
Oh,
Hulk,
whoa, hold on. Was
the
that
one where you
could,
could level cities
and you could
by
like,
yourself.
rip a car in half and use them as boxing gloves?
Yes!
That shit was fire. But it was a dumbass title. We can all
Yeah,
agree on
dumbass
that.
title,
Yeah.
amazing game.
Yeah.
Okay, so directed, written for screenplay and the story by Mark Steven Johnson. Who's that, you ask?
Famous screenwriter.
Famous.
Yeah, he did Grumpy Old Men,
Ooh,
Classic.
Big Bully,
Even
Oh.
more classic.
the classicist.
Simon
Classic.
Birch,
So classic.
and then Jack Frost. Whoa.
Classicist.
That was a 1998 feature. But then in 2003, he started his Marvel run with Daredevil, Elektra, and then Ghost Rider.
All as
What a
writers. Those
record
are all
going
writers.
into this.
Oh, my
know what?
So
God.
The more you talk, the more it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of those movies are that great.
No, they're not great.
They're three
And
very
it-
so-so films.
Yeah. And like you watch Ghost Rider to me.
Oh, I'm talking about Jack Frost too. Like none of them are that great.
How
Don't
dare
talk
you.
about grumpy
Yeah,
old
Grumpy
men.
Old Man. Yeah, none.
Yeah,
None.
we're gonna leave that one alone, man.
I
A
love
lot
me
of-
some Jack
A
Lemmon, but
lot
that's
of
not the
rabid
movie.
fans of Grumpy Old Men. Walter Matthau in his prime. A lot of people said.
Yeah,
Subscribe to our grumpy test.
Nobody said that.
Oh, okay.
No, not
I'm
you.
sure somebody did.
No, not your thing, my thing.
I said
I heard it. Yeah, so we start off in that movie with young Johnny Blaze at a
Johnny
random
Blaze.
carnival
Okay,
doing
Yeah.
stunts with his dad.
Yep.
And one thing that pisses me off about this movie is right from the beginning, it's like there's so much room for story to develop these people, and all you know is he has a Latin girlfriend who, in looking up Ghost Rider and trying very hard to find this Roxanne person, I don't think she exists.
Because the initial story was like,
I thought she
let me
did
try
though.
this. His dad was Barton Blaze, and he died in a stunt accident. And then he gets
Yep.
adopted by Crash Simpson, who dies of cancer. And then Johnny's like, no, I can't have that happen. So he makes a deal with the devil,
Right.
only for his dad to die in a fucking crash.
Like 10 seconds
That's
later.
what's crazy
Yeah.
to me, right? You start this movie off, he's like, hey, Dad, we're motorcycle guys, right? And his dad's like, yeah, whatever. And then he's like, Dad, what's the matter? You sound sick. And that very night, he finds the fucking paperwork of his dad having cancer, who it's Barton, not Crash.
Yeah, it's like a weird amalgamation of his dad and stepdad from the comic.
Right.
It's the MCU. You know,
Yeah.
they fucking...
Don't call
No,
this
it's
the
not the
MCU.
MCU.
I knew they were
not
going to
the
jump on you.
MCU.
You know how I knew
Definitely
that?
different.
Because I made that mistake before you got here. And they both were like, well, no.
Not the MCU.
Shut your
The
mouth.
temperature just got 5 degrees hotter in this room.
Right, so So he finds the paperwork and he just kind of goes, well, shucks.
Dad's got cancer.
Doesn't wake his dad up or anything. Go, hey, asshole. I know I've lived with you for all my life.
That's when you kick
How
the door
did I
open.
not notice the steady decline in your health? I just happened to
That's a
find
solid
some
question.
open mail and been like, oh, well, shoot. And then I'm going to go out and anger fix the bikes in a tent, and Satan's going to come in.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
Johnny,
legit.
I can help your dad.
But I will say that, like, I was reading through, like, the facts or, like, the trivia stuff of, like, on IMDb,
Mhm.
and one of the things it said was Eva Mendes actually gained some weight for the role because she
girl.
wanted to look a little bit more curvy like in the comics. So I thought there was a character like that in the comics. I don't know. I never read the comics, but I'm going based just solely on the films.
But like, and also, there's a lot of different iterations of Ghost Rider.
Yeah, so maybe
So-
it was a different one or something. I don't know.
Like
So this
when
is a
he has
question
metal.
for you, Justin. Wouldn't that technically make her his stepsister or adopted sister?
What?
Because, well, from the comics, because isn't he adopted by her dad?
Fuck, you're right. Hold on. Well, if it's not blood, no, I'm not gonna.
But she's not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's fine. Hey, it's a very popular category on Pornhub.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
We're big on Pornhub.
Things go wrong all the time. But here's the thing. I know it's for the movie. I get it. But they could have played it out a little bit more, right?
It's weird because, like, the movie, like, I like a slow build for movies. Like, Batman Begins, I feel, had like,
agree.
a slow build.
Mhm.
Like, I don't mind it as long as it's interesting with the characters. This was just not interesting
The
at all.
world's fastest
the story.
build.
You don't have to have, like, crazy action, like,
Yeah.
every minute, but just, like, have something going on. And then the dialogue is so fucking corny.
It's so bad.
It's so corny.
It's so bad.
The whole movie is pretty corny, but
And like just the fact that, you know, in that first 5 minutes, hey babe, I love you. Oh no, Dad. See ya, babe.
yeah, save Dad. Dad dies anyways.
Yeah.
Like 10 seconds later.
That's what
Bye. And then he drives over to the tree
To
to
see
just
her.
see her and then drive off.
And
Like,
she's
doesn't
been
even
Doesn't
say
say anything.
She's just sitting in the rain,
She's
and they
sitting
do
in
these
the
weird
rain.
like zoom ins on their eyes
Yeah.
as they meet.
under a tree that clearly is not sheltering her whatsoever.
Yeah.
And she's just like, well, I'm out here in the fucking rain.
But why even drive
Maybe he'll
over
come
there?
say hi. Oh, nope, you're just gonna leave. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. What would have been better is when Johnny reconnects with her, she's like, I had fucking pneumonia from standing out.
I
In
stood
the
under
rain.
that tree for 3
I
hours.
stood under that tree. You drove by to see me drenched? I was there for 30 minutes before that.
We made eye contact.
I saw you right away.
So nothing was said. Just he could
Yeah.
be going anywhere,
Right.
and he went right out
In
of
all
her
due
life.
seriousness, like, but that is like the nature of Mephisto. He will give you what you want, but at a terrible price.
Mm-hmm. And that's the whole thing. I mean, that's, you know, that's always deals with the devil, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's always like
it's
a
never
thing.
going to work out. But here's the thing that bugs me is that Johnny doesn't ask any questions, anything. He's just like, you're going to take care of my dad? I'll sign whatever binding contract.
Devil.
I don't need to
Scary
know.
old man
I
in a
don't need to
cloak.
know how you're going to do this.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You just walked into my tent. I trust you implicitly.
He didn't even ask
There
what
were
his
no
name
follow
was.
up questions either.
Excuse me. Hold on a second. What are your credentials?
Can I duel
How-
you?
how
Are
exactly-
you on LinkedIn?
What
Yeah.
is this
Stop,
all
please.
eternity shit in this contract?
Yeah, this here says eternity, something about spirit of vengeance. That'll come up later.
And he just randomly cuts his hand on the contract, and it bleeds on. He's like, "Good enough."
Yep.
And rolls it up and takes it away.
What if the devil was like, I have a pen right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, why do you
prepared.
do that?
He's like, well, I'm going to have a whole new document drawn up. I've got a notary outside with a ballpoint. Why did you bleed on my contract?
Kids these days.
Johnny's like, sorry, I thought, the whole devil thing.
Good enough.
And then we show up in, what is it, Nevada or something like that? That story, wherever
Honestly,
the
it
hell
was
he
very
is,
hard to pay
It
attention.
doesn't
during
make
a
sense
lot of
because
it.
he's out in the desert.
Yeah. He's always in the desert.
He's in the desert. And then he's at a stadium. And then he's in a large industrial city.
Yeah, he was in the stadium because he was doing that jump or
Oh,
whatever.
that
Yeah.
is my favorite.
The
So
helicopter jump.
this man jumps,
6
crashes.
helicopters.
He jumps 6
Well, that's
helicopters,
right. That's right.
crashes. His team, who cares about him, air quotes, runs up to him, removes his helmet aggressively, slaps him in the face as hard as he can, and goes, "Oh, he's fine." That man just crashed, jumping 6 helicopters at
No,
300 feet.
he doesn't crash in the helicopter.
No, it was the trucks.
Oh,
He
the
crashes
trucks.
on the
Yeah,
trucks.
it was
But
the
they
trucks.
they remove his helmet and slap him in the face.
Right. Well, I don't know if you know anything about neck injuries, but that's a no-no. Not to
Should we
mention
get
the
the paramedic?
EMTs were not
No,
on site.
I got this. I got
the
this.
EMTs are like, "You want a hot dog?" And there's Johnny Blaze.
Well, they probably weren't upset because they were probably like father, like stepfather, like son, because they all did the same shit.
He's fine.
He has the face of somebody who abandoned his childhood love after selling his soul to Satan. He's okay.
It's very specific.
Yeah. So you bring up his buddy, crew chief, who's portrayed
Donald
by
Logue.
Donald Logue.
Yeah.
That dude's a good actor.
Yeah, he is.
He's in Gotham,
Yeah.
Mhm.
He was
And
also he was in
Bullet?
Blade.
and he was in
a couple other good things. I
He's in
mean,
Arrested for Life, the sitcom.
Grounded for Life.
Grounded for Life.
Yeah.
Sorry.
yeah.
Same thing.
I
Get,
think
get
he's-
it right. Get your ABC
Oh,
sitcoms
please,
right,
please.
okay?
Ladies. I thought he was a great actor, but his
His part.
His
Well,
part
everybody.
is-
I thought Eva Mendes is a great actress, but she's
What-
fucking.
what
like,
is she doing
do?
here?
Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody
So
in this
corny.
movie is a good actor.
well,
I'm
that's not
convinced of
They're,
it.
they're
That's
good
not true.
actors.
I
Actresses.
feel like
It's
Nicolas
the
Cage
dialogue.
is such a maybe actor that he made everyone else a maybe
Okay.
actor.
It's
No, I think it's the script. It's the script. The script is bad.
I
The
agree.
dialogue that they wrote is just bad.
I
So
agree.
it's really hard. Like you can't
all
make a
bad.
good movie off of a bad script. You
this is
just
the
can't.
point in the movie where I really thought about it and I went, is Nicolas Cage a good actor? Has he ever been a good actor?
He has. He actually has.
I'm like, okay, Con Air. I'm like racking my brain. I'm like, I don't know.
That's the one that comes to my brain every time. Is Nicolas Cage a good actor? I like Con Air.
The
Yeah.
Rock. He
I
actually.
like The Rock.
Honestly, he's
Great actor, The
actually
Rock.
he can be a good actor. He won an Oscar. He has an Oscar.
I give him to everybody.
He won an Oscar for Leaving
Yeah.
Las Vegas, which was a good movie, but he was great in it. He's been in Adaptation. He's been in Kick-Ass, but then he's also in some shitty ass movies like
Kick-Ass was
He
good.
The
was in Kick-Ass. He was
Sorcerer's
really good in
Apprentice.
Kick-Ass.
He was
and
Batman and Kick-Ass.
some other ones. Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
The delivery of every line in this movie is just horrendous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It
really
is
bad.
so bad.
I don't get. He's trying, and we know that. I think Nicolas Cage has a big affinity for Elvis.
Yeah.
I think he was trying to do a
Elvis
little
it up.
Elvis
Mhm.
in this.
What, in every
interpretation.
movie?
Well, I think there's like
Amen, brother.
there's like a weird thing with Nick. Well, like with this movie that I can't decide if they're trying to make it corny on purpose.
Yeah,
Because like the way he says his lines and the fact that he's laughing at like cartoons or whatever is on TV and he's like turn it back to the I want to learn more about monkeys and so I'm like
Yeah.
what is this dialogue like you're saying this?
He's like
Yeah.
Who
laughing
is
with
this
like a
character?
mouthful of food. He's like,
He's drinking jelly beans. I mean like what are they doing? What is this character? I
Right.
don't know Ghost Rider that well.
Oh,
so.
no, it's not that.
My absolute favorite is when he points, both when he's happy, and
Yeah.
he points at the TV, and he's
Yeah.
mad, and he points at the devil.
Yep.
He does this like floppy-handed
Yeah, it's not
finger down.
full-
He's like, "How dare you?"
Yeah,
and he's like
this one-
pointing at the ground.
yeah.
Right.
What is that?
Well, he
It's like he's asking for somebody to kiss his hand
that
and court
then
him.
translates
And
later.
a curtsy.
Yeah, when he is Ghost Rider, his biggest weapon is pointing.
Yes, but when you point like
Staring.
this, and
Staring
not like
pointing.
this.
Yeah.
Staring and pointing. That
You
no,
guys- you
those
put some
Riders
attitude
too
into it.
ability.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We talk a lot about like superhero abilities, but that staring and pointing, that's got to be up there.
Yeah.
Staring and pointing on fire.
The upper echelons of
Faster
power
than a
right
speeding bullet? No. Staring
No,
and
no.
pointing.
It just says in the script, points on fire.
Yeah. I didn't understand. And then it's like, so he's known about this whole Ghost Rider thing forever. Well, I guess they kind of don't allude that he knows about Ghost Rider until the devil comes back.
That's the biggest.
Because my biggest issue with this movie coming up is Blackheart.
Oh,
Yeah.
You don't like Wes
my
Bentley?
God.
That's another thing. When you said it's a terrible script, I
It's
don't
bad.
know if that guy's a good actor or not.
You don't know if any of the. If you didn't know like these actors at all, you would think they're all like horrible.
I know
actors.
Sam Elliott. I know I like him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think he's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's the best part of that movie, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Here is oh my God. Okay. So I was convinced after watching this that Blackheart, was based on a Twilight vampire.
Yeah, he looks like it.
But this
And
movie
his-
came out a
he's
year
the
before
original.
Twilight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so convinced that they went, oh, Twilight, sparkly vampires. Let's just make them look like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big black tangly monster.
Which is what he really looks like. He's
Yes.
what, 10 feet tall, maybe
Yeah.
bigger.
The
He's got,
son
like,
of the devil.
son of the devil. He has some really crazy shit, and all he does is have like a creepy smile.
Same thing with Mephisto. He looks like Bram Stoker's Dracula, and that's why I have this written on my sheet right
Oh,
here.
right now it makes sense. For those
That's
of you who
another
didn't
thing
know.
is Peter Fonda is a great actor.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
great actor.
He's got a very iconic voice.
And
too.
all I can think is like they got Peter Fonda because they like Nicolas Cage wanted him for the part, and he
Yeah.
tried to convince him to be in the movie. And I'm like, is the only reason why Peter Fonda's in this movie because he was in Easy Rider back in like the '60s and it was a motorcycle?
yeah.
You know
Like it
that's
kind
why.
of seems
That
like
seems
that's the
about right.
only reason. Like they just wanted somebody like with a big name, and they're like, well, Peter Fonda was in like a motorcycle movie, so let's put him in there.
He'll be the devil, no problem.
This movie went 45 minutes
That's what I said to Jack before we started.
before he caught on fire, and
Yeah.
then he finally caught on fire, and it
Yeah.
looked like shit.
And he didn't know what to do. Like he didn't really have like a.
Yeah.
It looked like shit for
to
the
be
time
fair,
too. No,
if you burst in the flames,
Yeah.
ran like arbitrarily, I think you'd be like, "What the fuck? Oh god!"
No,
no.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
but I'm saying like
and I
all of a sudden
thought-
he had a goal to
Yeah.
kill these people, and he doesn't know who they are. Or anything.
Exactly. And I thought Nicolas Cage's interpretation of him setting himself on fire and turning into Ghost Rider
Yeah.
was pretty good. I was
Yeah,
like,
I'm fine with
okay. And then he's Ghost Rider. I'm like, hey, here we go. And then 10 minutes later, no more Ghost Rider.
But the fight was like when he killed that one guy. He killed one guy with the chains, and then like
Yeah.
that was the fight was over.
Kills all the guys. With
Yeah, I know. The first guy that he kills with the
Yeah, yeah,
chains. Like, because that guy had. It was like watching like somebody play a video game. Like, you
Yeah.
had to get through 3 bosses before you get to the final boss.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
And then
Yeah,
and
that's a
then,
good point,
then we
because,
go back
like-
to the writing for this movie because the demon thing that he's captured goes, "Please have mercy," and Ghost Rider goes, "Sorry, all out of mercy."
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
Really?
what?
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make. I don't understand what the goal was. Like, I don't know.
I feel like they probably. Never mind. I was gonna say they probably made the movie first, and then they were like, "All right, let's add dialogue to it," but that wouldn't make much sense.
this
Yeah.
movie needs
Yeah, they
more
were like, "Let's
puns.
cram it with one-liners and
So-
see how well it does."
Yeah.
So
It was
Wes Bentley, who plays Blackheart, I also read on IMDb that.
He
at
hates the
that
movie
t-
as well.
Well, no, at that time, I guess he was on a very bad, like, he was, like, addicted to all kinds of drugs, and he actually only was in this movie to, like, help pay for his coke habit at that time.
That's why Nicolas Cage, I feel like, does most movies.
So-
because
I was
he
gonna
has a
say,
he needs
giant
money.
gambling
yeah,
habit
right. He's in debt.
all the
well,
fucking time.
that's what happens when you buy a freaking castle.
Castles with an S.
Castle, oh, my bad.
And a dinosaur skull.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
So let's go back to this. So the whole point of the movie, if there is one, is for Ghost Rider to stop Blackheart
Mm-hmm.
for the contract of San Baganza that they say 80 times in this movie. And they really only say the contract's worth 1,000 evil souls. Oh, it's so bad. Don't let Blackheart get 1,000 evil souls. I'm like, why didn't you just send Blackheart to Las Vegas or something?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Or like somewhere where there's a shit ton of bad people. Why? This doesn't make any sense to me. How many people are in the world and you're worried about 1,000
That's what I was gonna say.
evil
Unless,
souls?
like, one soul is like, I don't know, one soul equates to like 40 people or some shit like that.
Right.
They didn't measure it against anything,
Right.
So we have no idea how terrifying or maybe not terrifying that is.
Yeah. And we're talking about, hell. How many bad people are probably already in hell and all their souls are down there?
At least 40.
Least
at
40.
least.
We're pushing 50. And they're worried about 1,000.
Yeah, I didn't understand
And
that goal
that's
either.
that's Blackheart's only thing that he wants is this contract because this contract is going to make him so untouchable. The devil, who is over all the souls in hell, is worried about you getting this contract for 1,000 souls.
You know what I liked? When Eva Mendes saw Ghost Rider outside her window. What are the chances of that shit?
Right. She's also looking at the dress that she was at dinner with the night before
Right.
after she left and is so angry. That's another character that pissed me off. I wrote his name down. David Roberts, who plays Captain Dolan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about how in every single movie, the captain or the whatever the head of the police, chief police,
Yeah.
knows every reporter in town, and they're always all on the crime scene.
Yeah.
And he walks up and she goes, "Hey, I wanted to ask you about this." He's like, "No comment."
That's what they always say.
And then she goes, "It's off the record." And he goes, "Off the record?
I'll tell you
Piss
everything.
off."
Yeah, yeah.
I was like,
That was
Is
good
this-
cop, bad cop.
"Is this necessary? There's no good cop."
Well, because
It's
he
just
wasn't
bad
there
cop,
yet.
bad cop.
How
Yeah,
can it
but
be good cop, bad cop?
no,
There's no good cop.
it was bad cop, but good cop couldn't make it because Ghost Rider was there.
I said off the record. You can tell me anything you want. You don't have to tell me to piss off.
Here's another thing. One intern who gets a close up on him holding up a burnt license plate.
Oh yeah.
Goes, "Captain?"
I found
And then
something.
all of a sudden, 80 officers sneak up on Johnny
Swarm,
Blaze,
Yeah, swarm.
all guns drawn. "Freeze, motherfucker!"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay." Like, he had no idea.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, this just seems like it could have been done a little bit better.
Was that Rebel Wilson that was being
Yes.
interviewed?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
her
yeah.
first movie role.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I believe.
Very
yeah.
good.
Yep.
So, from there, we've got, you're throwing Ghost Rider in prison, and that's where he does the whole,
He hulked
Nicolas
up.
Cage thing. You don't want to put me in there, man. Don't do it. And then everybody, of course, for the movie is already a jackass.
Yeah.
Here's a new rich guy. Let's beat the shit out of him. I'm like, okay. I saw
that was
you
weird.
crash and burn at the fair. Now I'm going to beat you up for your jacket.
But my whole thing though too is that like I just never understood like what his capabilities or his just abilities were like in the sense of like
Funny you should ask.
he fights one guy by twirling his chain, the smoke, and like that makes him go away. I don't know who that
Well,
was.
that's
but
science,
he,
Robert.
like,
You might want to look up your science.
He's-
His ability
he
is
spins-
fire. I don't know what you're so confused
but how does he
about.
defeat? How does he defeat water then?
yeah.
Like I don't know. Like he stares at that guy. I'm like, well, then stare at every guy. Like I don't understand. Like what is your? Why you
Make
stare at this
more
guy?
eye contact.
yeah,
Yeah.
but this guy you use a chain. This guy you stare at. This guy you point at. I'm like,
Yeah.
why?
Can we see the
that was
director's cut
definitely
where he
one of my
just
biggest
stares?
qualms in movies. Like
Yeah.
he didn't get his ass beat once.
No.
Like even if he did, it was for like maybe 20
He gets
seconds.
thrown around, but he's like Terminator. He just keeps getting up and keeps going.
Why would
There's
people
not
keep
a real
shooting
fight.
at him?
Not bad for his first 2 days.
Like, why would they shoot? After you see two of your buddies just get like chopped in half by chains,
Yeah.
why would you still sit there shooting?
Yeah.
I would just be like, all right.
That man is a flaming
It could
skeleton.
be worse. It could be
Open
worse.
fire.
Because Blackheart's power was sticking a finger up your butthole and sucking all the energy out until you turn into
To like a
nothingness,
an icicle, or
withered and
whatever.
died.
Yeah.
I was like,
God.
this is what we got here, huh? I
Yeah.
think that goes back to what you were saying is he was only in that movie to support the habit because there's no
yeah.
good action. They could have made him
There's
fucking
no good action.
crazy.
That's how he defeats him too. He just looks at him.
Yeah.
But that is one of his like mini powers, though. It's
Yeah.
it's called the penance stare.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying like that doesn't make for a very
It's not very
interesting
cinematic.
action.
But the point,
He probably got the script and was like, "All right, let's crank this shit out because I need money."
I mean,
Yeah.
probably.
but you're right.
Uh,
Ghost
By money,
Rider
you mean
is more than
cocaine.
just swinging flaming chains and staring deeply into his enemy's eyes,
You could have fooled me by this movie.
right? I mean, like he has all kinds of shit.
But the fact that he can't get it's kind of like I think that's why a lot of people, especially nowadays, like Batman and stuff like that because he's like a regular guy and he can get hurt.
He's more relatable.
He's more relatable.
Mm-hmm.
When you have like a guy who's just like on fire and
to
can
everything.
kill anything, it's like, well, then where's like the worry? Like I know he's just gonna mow down and kill all these people.
To the producer's credit, like that had to be really hard, like a hard script to write.
yeah.
That had to be real hard to like.
Well, that's
especially,
why
like,
he
if you didn't
should've-
know shit about him before, and then you read it, you're like, "Why did I agree to this?"
But it's like you said, they should have had like something where Blackheart hurts him
Yeah.
halfway through the movie or something like that, and then he has to kind of build himself back up to come back.
Right.
Then at least
they
it looks-
could have done the mentor-mentee thing with Sam Elliott's character too, Carter Slade, and had him show him something instead of being like, "You're a good guy."
Yeah, he just said stuff. He just told
just
him stuff.
because you're a good guy, that means you're gonna win.
There's no
Oh, my-
training or anything like that. It was just
Yeah,
like he
listen to
just
him
knew
talk
how to
for
do
days.
everything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That Sam
that could have been
Elliott
the whole
scene
movie, and I would have been fine with it.
where he reveals that he's a Ghost Rider on a horse, which is a cool reveal. It's visually pleasing.
Oh my god.
So he's like, you know what? I'm going with you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
but
they
he didn't do
ride out.
anything.
He rides all the way there, and they get there right to the edge, and he goes,
Yeah.
that was my last ride. And then
Yeah.
just fades into the
I thought
You could have helped me, man.
Why
Like,
did
I
you
got-
waste it coming?
Yeah,
That's-
you could have been regular here and then
Right.
flamed up when we got there, and it would have been a lot more help in this situation. But thanks for riding with me.
But right there, that fixes like one of the major like, plot points is the fact that just have Nicolas Cage get his ass kicked,
Yeah.
and then he needs like help, and then have Sam Elliott go like, all right, one more ride. Then he helps him kind of at the end,
Like
and then
he
maybe
saves
Sam
his
Elliott
life,
dies.
like,
yeah.
yeah.
Sam Elliott dies or whatever, and then Nick Cage wins
Yeah.
the day.
Makes for a great
you
movie.
to write the movie because
I'm
that
just
would
saying
have
that would have
loved
been
that.
that would have been way better.
Nope,
Yeah.
we're
Sam
doing it.
Elliott rides like you said. Right when he was like, all right, and he leaves, I'm like, wait, is he leaving?
No way. And he doesn't even like have like an effect of him going to heaven or going to
Yeah, it's
hell.
nothing.
Like
He
if they
just
showed
walks
Sam
away.
Elliott happen to like go to heaven, then Nick Cage is like, "Hold on a minute."
Yeah.
I can do this and still get up there. Okay, maybe he's got some reason to do it other than the fact that his girlfriend with 10 minutes of screen time is being held captive by Robert Pattinson.
yeah.
But it's
Sparkling.
Like,
Nope,
it
they
just
just
drove
get there, and
me
he's
crazy.
like, "Okay, bye,"
Right.
and then he just trots off.
He
But
wrote
to be
right
fair,
next to him.
they originally Ghost Rider, like the Ghost Riders, were supposed to be like as it was written, they're supposed to be made to be like servants for the devil. But it turns out they're like angels from God.
Right.
Is what it turned out to be.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a nod to that. I doubt it, but maybe it was
Yeah.
a nod to that.
The writing is what really killed me. And that was the one thing that I took away from this is like the only cool parts cool, not like great movie, is when Ghost Rider's on camera.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's visually appealing. You like to see that. Him flipping off the cops while he's in the water, getting ready to drive away. I was like, that's pretty badass. But then, like, you have nothing to go against.
There's no like tension. There's no suspense
And, like,
throughout the rest of it.
It made for a really good trailer because all those things cut together looked awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when you realize there's nothing in the middle,
Yeah.
that's it. You're done. Like, well, they already got your $12, so I
Right.
guess that's really all they care about.
And then, you know, like, I just cut and pasted a couple of lines from Blackheart.
oh, please
Indulge
us.
Our main villain,
Our
he
big
walked.
bad.
He's in a church, and the priest walks up. It's like, "What are you doing here?" And he goes, "Forgive me, Father, for I've sinned. I've sinned a lot." I was like, "Somebody fucking wrote this for a movie,"
He's the son of the devil.
and they were
so-
like, "We're gonna use it."
yeah.
Like, come on, man.
That's what I'm saying. I can't decide if it's trying to be like corny popcorn, like B movie ish, or if
Yeah.
it's really trying to be a serious contender for a superhero film.
Here's fucked
But
up thing. I think you know the answer to that.
Yeah, but I just like I'm saying, like I don't know, just the way like the dialogue. I mean, I've seen bad movies before, but like here, it's kind of like there's like a good movie within this bad movie, and it's like a lot of it just has to do with the dialogue and the story. At some points, just seems rushed. Like it does
It
feel
does.
like watching somebody play a video game.
It seems rushed at the very end. Okay, Blackheart's got the contract through whatever reasons, right? He's got it there. You think he's going to say some Old Testament shit and summon all these souls? No, no, no. He says, and I quote, "This is the contract of San Baganza. All of you come to me."
Nailed it.
I was like,
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Nice.
Wow, that was that easy.
Okay,
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. He gets all this. What does he do?
He gets all the souls, and they somehow make him Legion. Oh, wait, there's a line for that, too. All he says is, "My name is Legion. My name is Legion, for we are many." Cool. Okay, so what does that tell us
Yeah,
a little
but
bit more about yourself,
exactly.
Legion?
What does that mean at that point?
Why should we be worried about you?
Was that supposed to be like Legion, like X-Men Legion? That was supposed to be Legion?
It's supposed to be Legion.
Oh my god.
That makes no
What
sense
such
whatsoever.
a waste.
But it's like it's supposed to be this big bad, and he gets shot once by the shotgun and then gets penance stared. Movie over.
See, that's what I thought, because he got shot by the shotgun after it got converted over, after he was
Because
holding
it was in the shadows. When did fucking Ghost Rider have to be a vampire too? Like only
Yeah,
at
he
night.
can't come out during the day.
Yeah,
Except
is that,
for
is
in
that
the
a deal?
sequel, he's
Not
out
that I know of.
all day.
Yeah.
In the sequel.
So I thought he was going to get shot, and
Yeah.
you kind of see some black stuff kind of forming around him. I'm like, big reveal. He's going to be 12 feet tall, and
Yep.
he's going to be all comic book accurate, and here we go. And then the stuff just swirls around him, and he goes, "Oh, yeah." And then he just
Yeah.
go right back into the fight.
He's like, I got one more spine here on my chin now when you did that.
Yeah.
Does that intimidate you? Are you scared? And
Scary.
like Nicolas Cage, I got to stick to the shadows. I was like, I don't see why.
Yeah.
You're
that
possessed
wasn't in the
by a
contract.
demon. You're not possessed by a fucking nightlight.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the limitations of like what he could and couldn't do. Like just
Yeah.
it sprouted up to help the plot move forward. Like
Yeah.
whenever they needed something else. Like he can't do this, he can't do this, but he can drive underwater. It's like okay, cool. He's on
Let's just
fire,
say,
but he can
too,
drive
it's like,
underwater.
without Sam Elliott in this movie, this is the worst Marvel movie I've ever seen.
Really?
Without Sam Elliott's part in the movie,
Oh.
for him to say the whole part, by the way, you're a Ghost Rider. Here's what happens. Here's your purpose.
I love how
Here's-
Sam Elliott just narrates
Sam
so many
Elliott
movies.
exposition.
While he also, I mean, he sews up Johnny's arm. Why is Johnny cut?
That is a solid point.
Yeah.
When he shows up, he's Ghost Rider. Did he
How'd
nick
you
his
cut
shoulder?
a skeleton?
Did he nick his shoulder before he got, like, was this a pre-existing injury?
That's what I'm saying.
Because he
There's
shows
no
up, he's Ghost
limitations.
Rider, he fights, and then at the end, the bike takes him to the cemetery. I don't know why. And he's all of a sudden cut.
Just at home on his
Sam
GPS.
Elliott is stitching his arm together. He's not even moving. I imagine that would hurt. I don't care how Ghost Rider you are.
I don't know. If you're just skull and fucking fire.
No, he's back to Nicolas Cage
I
at
mean,
this
I
time.
know.
I can't get
He's
past
just
your...
like, sterilize that for me. He's like, okay. Here you go.
No, first he tries to fire it with his crab claws. He's like, yeah. Oh, yeah, dip it over here. I'm trying to get past the part where you said, besides Sam Elliott, this is the worst movie, worst Marvel movie ever. What is the worst Marvel movie ever? Because this is a top contender with Sam Elliott.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty close.
Pretty bad.
I mean, there's a couple others. Maybe
I've never seen Elektra, so maybe that's.
I never
okay.
saw Elektra either, and I heard that was horrible.
Yikes.
Yeah, I saw Daredevil. I wasn't a fan of that one, but I heard
Daredevil
Elektra's
looked
way
better than
Daredevil,
this.
Yeah.
Okay, so that to me was my pick for worst was Daredevil.
I think this might be the
Same
worst.
writer. That's awesome.
Watch Elektra, then get back to me.
Yeah, I heard Elektra's like way worse than Daredevil.
Come
and
back for
probably
the
worse than
Elektra
this one, too.
episode.
Yeah, right. No, we can't do this.
Yeah, what can we watch a
can't-
good
yeah,
movie
we're
next
gonna
time?
watch a good movie.
Just a good
I mean,
one.
that's what I was gonna say to myself is, what are we gonna compare this to? Like, if we had to pick the best Marvel movie out there and say, or Marvel or DC or comic books, my personal pick for the best comic book movie I've ever seen is Dark Knight. That's
Yeah,
just a
I
great
mean,
movie.
But that's the thing is like I feel like comic book movies can either be like that's one that's grounded in realism is like the whole Nolan trilogy. Like this isn't really like on par with that. It's more on par with like I would say like the other Marvel films where it's like a little bit more cartoony and like fun and stuff like that. But then it's also like it's just way cornier than like anything that MCU has put out.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a fan of like Thor: The Dark World or anything like that.
That was
But
trash.
it's I think it's way better than this.
Oh,
crap.
I'd watch
Yeah.
Thor: The
Yeah.
Dark World 10 times before I'll watch this one more
Yeah,
time.
Maybe
exactly.
true.
Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, so I wouldn't without Sam Elliott. I thought he was the saving grace for this movie, and he comes and goes with no real consequence.
It's definitely top 3 Sam Elliott narrations for me. Up in the Air, and then probably Big Lebowski would round up the
Big
top 3.
Lebowski to me is definitely.
I can't even argue with that list.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what's
it's
up.
great.
I couldn't
It's
think
great.
of any others
So-
off the top of my head.
This movie ended, and I said to myself, why the hell did they make a sequel?
Right.
And why do I have to watch this?
4 years later, they decided let's do it.
I didn't think there was a way to waste Idris Elba in a movie. I was like, you know what? This dude is
You've been
fantastic.
proven wrong.
I don't think I've ever seen a movie with him that they could waste him. Hold my fucking Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance beer. Here we go.
Oh, did they make that? That'd be nice. Okay, so to start off with this movie, at the beginning, instead of doing the Marvel logo, they did the
Yeah.
Marvel Knights logo, which I found interesting. Is that the only time they've ever used that in a movie?
I've
never
so.
seen
They
that
didn't
before.
do.
I don't
They
remember
didn't do it
seeing
for
any
Blade.
of those. Yeah.
They didn't do it for Blade. So
Yeah. So I thought that was weird.
and
I'm
that one.
I
So
didn't know Blade was a Marvel movie until like maybe 2 years ago.
Well, it's Sony.
Christ.
Sony put it out though, right?
I don't know who did that one, but yeah,
think
So when I looked at it at the very beginning, I was like, "This is a completely different feel for this movie."
Mm-hmm.
So it was directed by Mark Neville Dean and
Two
Brian
guys, right?
Taylor,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Okay." So I took a look at the stuff that they directed because the camera was really wobbly and
I hate that.
kind
I
of
hate it
interesting
so much.
shots,
I hate it.
kind of make you feel like you're really there. I don't know why.
I'm never looking at somebody's face like from both angles, like sliding around them.
I've got evidence on my phone.
That I do that.
That
Yeah,
you
that's
do
true.
that.
Every once in a while.
So those guys directed Crank and Crank High Voltage and Gamer. So as soon as I saw that, I said, okay,
it makes
that's
sense.
how visually this movie's going to be the whole time.
boy.
Trying to try to be really in your face, really actiony. And I was like, okay, I can put up with this. And then I saw who wrote the movie. Who wrote the screenplay and the story was David S. Goyer.
Is that hold on? I always get him confused. Is that Suicide Squad, or is
Yes.
that?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
Suicide Squad, Blade Trilogy. Now, we talked that shit.
And
He
Blade.
also wrote the story for Dark Knight and Batman Begins
Okay,
What happened that you had that
and
dramatic
Dark Knight
turn?
Rises.
So who edited the story
wait, no,
after
no.
he wrote it?
but didn't Nolan also write Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises too?
There could be more than one
I think
writer
there's
for
more
a
than
movie.
one
I would
writer,
expect you to
so
know
I
that.
think they helped a little bit.
I feel like Nolan doesn't let anybody else do anything.
Well,
so.
the thing with like screenwriting, from what because I've read a lot of screenwriting books and stuff like that, and a lot of it comes down to somebody will write a screenplay and then it kind of goes through like a bunch of different hands,
Yeah.
and people will change things,
So,
even to the actors and stuff.
for
too.
that, there are 4 writers on this movie. There's Scott
Right.
Gimble, Seth Hoffman, and then 2 credits for David S. Goyer for the screenplay and for the story.
And there's always like 1 or 2 people who get most of the credit. And
Yeah.
sometimes I've heard that some screenwriters who like they'll write a story, it'll get changed a bunch, and they don't even want their name on it anymore. Once
Yeah.
they
It's
sell it,
so
they're like,
different.
yeah, they're like, that's not what I wrote, and then they get the credit for it, and then they're pissed off.
Yeah.
because they're like, I didn't write that.
Because it's like a game of telephone. It changes.
he goes,
through
yeah,
every
all right,
hand.
scary motorcycle guy. And they're like, good, writing credit.
yeah, got it.
So this movie just had a completely different feel for it altogether. I thought maybe I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion. I thought it had a lot more story than the first one. It actually had a narrative that you could follow.
Technically.
It had a very established.
It was also a half an hour shorter than the first one, or like
Yeah, it was.
25 minutes
Yeah.
shorter or something like that.
Oh my God, what's the word I'm looking for? The bad guy.
Villain.
Nope, that's not the word I'm looking for.
Mean doo-doo head.
Anti what?
I was going to say antagonist.
That's what I was looking for.
Gotcha, Doc.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
Give me one of those.
Boom.
All right. Yeah,
They
so they
just
had
kissed.
a developed in
Jack and Justin just kissed.
whatever.
Pounded.
Just pound it. Mwah.
Give it up. But they had something that they were moving towards the entire movie, right?
Mhm.
Right.
The little brat kid, who
Had something.
it was a little bit of the stereotypical stuff too. His mom seemed like she used to be a crack whore.
I feel
And
like
then
I've
all of a
seen
sudden,
that story like
she
a
met
bunch.
Satan, and Satan was like, "Want a baby?" She was like, "I sure do."
Well, the first time you're introduced to her, she's
Deal with the
robbing
devil.
a potential John.
Yeah.
So that
She's
kinda-
robbing a guy who's coming up to her. He's like, hey, this poor idiot. He goes, I saw you were looking at me. She goes, yeah, nice suit. And he goes, oh, thank you. I have a lot of money.
Yeah. I know.
Did he really fucking say that?
I swear to God.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
And he's like, I have a lot of money. She's like, oh, really? And then the kid shows up. Hi, Mom. Where's Dad? And the guy's like, whoa, let me get out of here. And the
Let me
kid like
zip up my
awkwardly hugs him and pulls his wallet. I was like, okay, come on.
So the dialogue is just as good.
just as crispy.
I have a lot of money.
And I think
All right.
and I think Nicolas Cage even amped up the crazy on this one.
Oh, he had crazy eyes in this one.
Yeah.
Oh, even more so
Yeah.
than the first.
So and here's let's go back to the other one. In the first one he goes, I'm speaking to the fire element in me, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's got fire in his hand. I was like, whoa. Okay. First try, huh?
Learning curve. I like
Not to
it.
mention, why did he have all those books on all this shit if he had just found out he was going to be the Ghost Rider?
So that's
Yeah.
the thing. He signs a deal with the devil and
Yeah.
then seemingly forgets about it for 20-something years.
Yeah, that never happened.
Plus, the devil didn't need him for like that long.
Yeah.
Like
That's
there's
a good
nothing else.
point.
No other things you need to take care of.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the completely reshot flashback to the first movie?
Yes.
Yeah. That's I was talking about that
Yeah.
too. It's so stupid.
Different location?
And
different
now the
actor?
devil is somehow named Rourke.
Yeah, he said
Mickey
Rourke's back,
Rourke.
and I'm like, who the
Rourke.
fuck is Rourke?
Who the fuck is Rourke? And
Is
then
this
they show a
alternate
different
universe?
They show a different actor going, "Sign the contract, Johnny." And he's like, "Just do it, save him!" Ah! Blood splatters across.
And instead of
Maybe
cutting
they're
his
basing
hand,
it on like actual memory.
yeah,
well, instead of like cutting his hand on the contract and accidentally dripping on it, he like smashes a Corona bottle with his fist and then smears blood all over it
Right.
in a parking lot
Hardcore.
instead of at the carnival.
amen, brother.
Which is weird because Peter Fonda was still alive at the time.
Yeah, apparently he wanted to come back too.
So
and they were just
why?
like, "Go fuck yourself." We're gonna reshoot
Yeah.
this entire.
Sorry,
you, Peter
everything
Fonda.
about
yeah,
that movie
Peter
was bad.
Fonda. We want somebody who's a no-name actor to take over.
He wasn't
and
a
rewrite
no-name
it.
actor, though.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
But he's not as famous as Peter Fonda.
Right. What's his name?
like
Ciaran
him and
Hines.
Sam-
Ciaran Hines.
Just some
He's a
dude they
good
pulled off
actor.
the street.
No, he's fine.
But then
No,
it's
no,
like
he's not Peter Fonda, though.
It's like, hey, he's back. And they're like, who? You know that other guy, Rourke.
Like,
Rourke
who the fuck
back.
is that?
Yeah.
So, like, the devil showed up after, like, the third reincarnation in between Ghost Rider and Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. And he's like, you know what, guys? Call me Rourke. They're like, you're Mephistophelies Satan, right? And he's like, Rourke's good.
But like,
As he,
why
like,
rewrite that?
pops his collar and lights a cigarette.
It's 2007. I'm trying something new, guys.
Yeah.
That's like being a full-grown man. You're like, I'm actually David now.
Yeah.
Don't call me David.
Don't call me David.
It's
But your
not
name
gonna
is
work.
Carl.
But I'm David now.
And so, yeah, that was the thing. Is like you open up with Idris Elba doing Idris Elba things, being a badass. First of all, how does everybody find each other in this movie? That seems to happen a lot.
Also-
Happenstance.
every road that they have like a huge battle on, there's never any other cars anywhere. Even in the first one, the only time was when he drove through the city that one time when the cops were chasing him. Every other time, there's parked cars maybe on the side.
Yeah.
But nobody's driving anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is he the only one on the road always?
High gas prices.
And
Yeah, that's
this scene starts out with, hey, he shouldn't be here. This kid. We're like, oh, who's the kid? Okay. He's like, he shouldn't be here. This place is about to be. You're all going to be dead, and they're going to take this kid. And this priest, with so much confidence, like, this place is a fortress. Nobody can get in here.
And they do.
Literally 30 seconds later, they're all dead.
they get in there.
Why was it a fortress? Like, did they have a line drawn? Can't cross this.
Yeah, it had like
Don't worry, that'll keep them out.
because it's like brick and stuff. I guess.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
A lot of buildings are a lot of castles,
And then the guy
whatever else.
takes over the entire fortress with a 6-shooter.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
They're
Okay.
holy men. They can't fight
it's
back,
all to
right?
scale. So
Doesn't-
Yeah.
doesn't work like
Who
that.
are you fighting? Such
That's
a
true.
good
Yeah,
point.
that made no sense.
And so,
oh, we
Mom-
make the holy man thing, but that comes up later in a
Yeah.
very different way.
Yeah, mom and son escape, and they're in the city doing the whole thing with the guy. And back to Robert's point, they're in like Rome,
Right.
and she's the only car on the road.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand.
She drives off. She's the only car, and then 3 black sedans
Yeah.
follow her.
Don't
Who
you
the-
think you'd notice the only other
She-
3
right.
cars on the road?
When she gets on the highway or whatever, it's barren. Like
Yeah.
there's no one else around.
And not to mention, she then later gets caught after that whole driving sequence. It's nighttime.
Yeah.
These 3 black
Well-
sedans have been following her for 4 hours.
You didn't try to shake him or anything like that?
Right.
At
You didn't
least
say,
now,
these cars have been
At least now
following us.
Ghost Rider can come out.
right. And then he does show up.
Yeah. At night. Thank God.
And I will say this. The graphics for Spirit of Vengeance, as far as Ghost Rider's look,
Yeah.
much better.
Much better.
It looked really good.
I
was
mean,
like, I can
They
dig
got
this.
all that Ghost Rider 1 money. Now they can up the ante.
all that Ghost Rider 1 money. I wonder how much it did make.
Yeah, I didn't look up
I can
box
IMDb
office.
I don't think I
Figure
want
that
to hear
out.
because I feel like it's just going to upset me.
Yeah.
More than
Um,
it deserves.
I mean, the
Yeah.
action sequences are decent, but that's because the guys directing it are the guys who do Crank and all that stuff, which is just straight up action movie
Yeah.
like throughout. So like that makes sense. But to me, like the way they shot like just the dialogue parts was kind of like to me, it's just I hate watching. It's not shaky cam where it's like a found footage movie, but it's just like constantly like moving the camera back and forth
Quickly.
around this guy's face.
Quickly.
And it's all close ups. Like they don't do any like medium shots or like pull back or anything. It's just always like right in on somebody's face, like constantly.
Yeah.
It's just really weird.
okay, so this is crazy. I just looked it up, and the budget for this was half of the original movie.
All right.
It went from the first one was 110. This one was $57 million, not regular dollars.
You know
$1
what?
million.
I read somewhere.
Not
$57.
Monopoly bucks.
They did really good.
But I read somewhere. I'm gonna look it up. I think on IMDb there's something that said that the original Ghost Rider was supposed to only cost like $60 million, and
Yeah.
it almost doubled because of something Nick Cage wanted. And I'm gonna look it up right now.
Was
So-
it a dinosaur
so here's
skull?
the- here's the other thing.
There's
So
another
in the-
castle.
In the first one, Ghost Rider's pin and staring everybody, beating him up. In this one, as soon as the chain touches any human flesh, they disintegrate.
I liked it.
What?
Yeah,
okay.
that-
Okay.
I mean, it looks cool, but
I-
again, then like there's no like who's gonna defeat him.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. They shot a rocket at him, but
And
he's
who's
gonna
gonna-
die.
and not- not
the
to
other
mention-
guy who disintegrates things by touching it.
Dude,
Duh.
that was one of the things. He's like,
What happens when
and
they hold hands?
Rourke
Yeah.
goes, I'm giving you the power of decay and darkness. I'm like, that sounds really stupid.
What? And if he has, why
You can
isn't
make
he
food
just
get
doing it?
moldy.
Yeah.
Why does he keep sending out? Why do they always have like guys that go out
Right.
one at a time, lose all the way till he comes to you?
Here's another thing. He
Just
goes,
you take care of it.
He goes, I couldn't have done this without you.
It's like, yeah, you could have.
We're going to circle back.
You
So-
gave
so-
him the fucking power.
And at the end of the day, the one thing he wants to do is take this kid to his
Underground
church, whatever,
Coliseum?
Underground, yeah. He meets Christopher Lambert. There can only be one. And face tattooed Christopher Lambert, no less. And spoiler alert, the kid is an offspring of the devil, and the church wants to kill him. God, how could we not see that coming?
They want to kill him with a large Arabian sword from
Right.
Aladdin.
And so Idris Elba, no face tattoos, no nothing, but he's staunch follower. He's the priest. He all of a sudden's like, hey, you want to get rid of that Ghost Rider thing? We just got to lock you in one of our little stone igloos, and you got to eat some of this bread.
And then we're gonna
That's
do
how
a
I got rid of
cartoon
mine.
scene of
That's how they tricked me out of getting rid of mine. They're like, carbs? I'm like, yes, please.
Yeah. He's like, now go stand in there. That's all you got to do. He's like, if you survive. I was like, what was so hectic about this? He had like a dreamscape
That's what I'm
where he
saying.
saw chains coming out of his mouth,
yeah.
and then all of a sudden he's like, I'm fine.
But like the first one, he refuses to get rid of the power.
That's what I'm saying. That very ending, like the last thing.
I'm keeping this and making it my own.
Yeah.
Can you get this out of me, please?
Yeah.
What happened in those 4 years?
He didn't learn how to make it his own.
He went to Europe.
I think it was him and Eva Mendes broke up, so he was probably like, I don't need this shit anymore. She only likes fire guys.
That's not who I am.
That's not
Right.
who I am.
But that's a good point, because I'm going to keep this and I'm going to use it against you. And then the next movie, he's like, I've been repressing this Ghost Rider
Oh, can you please
for
take
far
this?
too long. I have just been keeping him in. And then he, every time he sees somebody, he's laughing. Yeah, the evil thing is in me, man. And I'm
It's like
okay,
maximum
let's-
Nicolas Cage in this movie.
Yeah,
too.
I was like, I think that's why Nick Cage wanted to do this so bad.
Maximum Cage.
Maximum Cage. And so then, here's the other point. He couldn't have done it without another 15-year-old kid playing the bad guy, and not believable whatsoever to me. I'm an arms dealer, drug dealer, all this kind of stuff. I was like, dude, you're 20 years old, Max. What do you mean? How do you learn?
And you're the
about all this
father
stuff?
of that kid, so
No, he's not.
Oh no, he's not.
He
Never
thought
mind. He thought he was.
it,
Never
or,
mind.
yeah.
Right.
But he was at least tricked into thinking he conceived a child at 13 years old.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Right.
And somehow he survived everything.
Everything.
Like all the time, even though he's just a
Ghost
dude.
Rider's making sure to disintegrate everybody.
Except for
But
him.
when he gets to the one guy he needs to get to, he picks him up and throws him.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Again.
wait a minute, Ghost Rider, hold on. Even the guy's even staring at Ghost Rider going, just do it, just kill me.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider's like, we got another 45 minutes.
we got to keep going, this movie going.
Yeah.
This really quick, I'm going to say IMDb says the first Ghost Rider movie, it says the movie was originally budgeted at $65 million, but soon the production costs went up once Nicolas Cage came on board and demanded a hefty fee to play the lead, which is weird. He also demanded that the Ghost Rider had to look photorealistic in post-production, which increased the production costs even more. The production then hit $110 million, almost double what they projected.
what did it look like before?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I
It
gotta
looked like
know.
an animated
It's like-
GIF of fire.
But I also heard that he has a tattoo of the Ghost Rider. Like that's one of his favorite characters or whatever, because he's a big comic book
Yeah.
fan.
I wonder if
So-
they'll let me play Venom.
You can try. But apparently they covered up the tattoo and stuff, but he wanted to be Ghost Rider and he like lobbied for it for a long time and stuff.
Yeah.
To me, it's like weird that he then demanded a
Yeah.
bigger pay. It's like
I wanna be
wanna
Ghost
this. I
Rider.
want to be this.
Give me
Okay,
$30 million.
$50 I want $30 million. No,
Yeah.
no. Like what?
And then another $20 million on flames.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Unbelievable.
I don't know what this is, but I just have written here, scraping at the door, all written out.
That
what
is
was
because
that?
he was screaming at the informant guy and telling him that if he didn't tell him what he wanted, Ghost Rider was going to come out, and screaming that Ghost Rider was scraping at the door to get out. He screamed it at him twice. And I remember going, all right, Nick, come on, man. Diet. Switch to
Jesus.
diet. You know what I mean? Get
Oh,
a
my
little
God.
decaffeinated there,
A
buddy.
little
It's-
decaf cage in you.
Yeah.
Seriously, and then I don't know. So here's the other big problem that I have. He needs this one dude to take care of all this for him. The devil does.
Mhm.
And then they're looking at all these hundreds of people that are showing up at the Coliseum. They go, "Who are those?" He goes, "Oh, those are high-level politicians, murderers, all these other people that are cultists that love him." I'm like, none of them could have helped out?
Yeah.
They all showed up with their black robe to chant at the end.
I have all of these guys as devout followers, but I need that guy.
But I need you because you know the girl. What?
And then he defeats. What was it? Rourke.
Let's talk about the sad
Like just-
demise of Idris Elba.
Oh, Idris Elba. Yeah. I knew
So
he was
he
gonna
is
die.
walking through doing things he should be doing, like spraying all these cultists with these little silenced Mac 11s. He's just walking through. I'm like, this is a good movie.
He's coming in hard.
Yeah, I was like, I can dig this. And then all of a sudden, Decomposition Man shows up.
That's like again, like
Kerrigan.
that's so simple. He just touches you and you're dead.
Right. He's touching him, and Idris Elba's like, oh, no.
And then he
He
touches
goes, I can
Ghost
still
Rider.
see the light. And
But-
then he headbutts him into mist, and it's gone.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider doesn't even, he just looks at him and goes, Moreau.
yeah. Pretty much.
I could not remember his name. I was just trying to
Dude.
think of it.
Yeah,
I
Moreau.
could not remember his
Yeah,
name. And I watched the
Moreau.
movie yesterday.
Yeah. And he's talking about, oh, this wine is so great. I've been saving it. You and I are going to drink it. And
Then
the
he just
first thing he
chucks
does is throw it at somebody. This is 2,000-year-old wine. Think fast.
Heads up.
Yeah, like the guy holding the machine gun's like, oh no, brrr.
Because it means something to that guy.
Yeah. Stupid.
Okay, so the only thing I've ever heard about these movies going into them is everybody always references the flaming piss. That's what everybody references. So I'm like,
But it's like
what
a
is this going to be?
flashback.
Like,
Yeah.
what is this? And it's just him peeing with his back to the camera on a black screen.
Yep.
It's
It's
just
a
like
cutaway.
it's like a memory. Like he's just mentioning it. It's not
Yeah.
even like a real thing that's happening at that moment.
I
He's
thought he
telling
like
the
killed a
kid.
guy or killed a guy by pissing on him or something.
Yeah.
Nope, just black thing and just him swaying his hips and you just see a little flame go.
And then the devil Rourke is like, it's like a flamethrower in a paper mache body. And the kid's like,
Kid laughs.
that's funny to you. I was like, you're the devil. Why are you having a conversation with this kid?
How does the devil get beat by Ghost Rider by going to hell?
That's it, too. In the final
It
scene,
made no sense.
he's slamming the devil through the earth's crust to go to hell, and the devil looks super pissed about it. I'm like, you're sending him home. He's literally going to hell where he is in charge of everything.
He doesn't get like custody to see his kid all the time, so he wanted to stay on Earth.
Oh, shit, man, back home.
I guess.
And then he goes into Blue Flame Ghost Rider for the last 5 seconds of the movie, and you're like, that's kind of cool. Oh, that's another one that gets me. The kid is unconscious. The kid has the power of Satan and gives the Ghost Rider back the power of Ghost Rider.
As you do.
Yeah, like you do in movies such as this.
Yeah.
And then the kid is unconscious, and Nicolas Cage is Nicolas Cage. He's like, I can feel the angel. And then from the bottom of the frame, not even like a transition, a skeleton hand comes up,
creeps into screen.
and it's blue. He's like, look at that. He's an angel that went crazy. And he
Yeah,
even
that was
does Nicolas Cage crazy eyes. And then he's like, he wants to touch the kid.
Yeah.
And the mom's rightfully like, no, we're not doing this. And he doesn't
flaming
even stop.
skeleton
He just
fingers.
goes,
no.
and then she's just kind of like, whoa. And then he taps the kid on the face, and all of a sudden he's like, I'm like, why did that work?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is there's no why does anything work?
Yeah.
The kid screaming into Nick Cage to give him his powers back.
Screaming
like that's just
flames
a thing.
into his head.
That's just a thing.
Yeah.
Never established that before. That's
Right.
just how you get it back, I guess.
Because he gets
It's
it
a
originally
transferable
just like,
disease.
Yeah.
yeah. In the first one, the devil's like, well, you're Ghost Rider.
Yeah. You got to
That's it.
sign. You got to
It's
sign
done.
this.
And
here
in
you
this
are.
one, he needed to have flames vomited on his head.
It's whatever.
Okay, so I think at this point in the podcast, I don't know how far in we are.
Very.
We'll
2.5
just talk
hours.
about. We're gonna give it a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs down. Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance. We'll do a package deal. Mark,
Thumbs down.
thumbs down for both.
Both.
You know the answer. Come on now.
All right. So thumbs down for the first one.
Yeah.
And then thumbs down for the second one.
Well, okay, all right. I'm gonna give that a thumbs down as well. These movies were just terrible, and I think they are going to be reintroducing Mr. Ghost Rider
Thank you, God.
into the MCU.
Well, probably now.
A perfect. Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
they
I think they got it. No,
Marvel.
No, if it's Sony.
no, they got it back because he
Yeah.
was on Legend or Agents of Shield.
That's right. So Marvel owns it.
Yeah,
again.
but
They
Sony
did Robbie
still.
Reyes.
But Sony still
Robbie
owns.
motherfucking Reyes.
Sony still owns Spider-Man.
I think Ghost Rider lapsed just like
Maybe.
Daredevil did.
Yep.
Okay.
So Stephen Strange might be one who could bring Ghost Rider back into the fold.
Okay.
Looking at all the different realms and all the different shit, he could find Ghost Rider in hell.
Stephen Strange got his ass whooped by Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
You think Nick Cage
Bad.
can reprise? his
No,
role?
No,
not Nick
no.
Cage. Oh my
The
god.
Russo brothers would be like, dude, get the fuck out
This
of my
makes me
office.
happy they never made this Superman
I don't know.
movie.
I don't even know who could
Oh,
play
yeah.
a good Ghost Rider at this point, but whatever. Yeah, I'm
It
going to
doesn't
say that
always
was
have to
our
be a big name.
wonderful review of Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Justin.
Anytime.
Thank you, Mark. It's hot as hell in here.
Yes.
It's a little
We about-
sweltering.
you know what?
Well, we
Let's-
turned on the heat
Put
because
a little
of Ghost Rider.
Put a little mood music on, huh?
Look at that.
This
You like that?
gets me going.
Yeah. Let's go whip.
I can feel the demon
chains
coming out.
and fire.
Oh, as my finger creeps into scene.
All right, evil laugh. We'll send it off. Come on, man. You're embarrassing.
I know.